A little bit about yourself and then, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Professor and Hilary, for sharing. Actually, I'm a PhD in ECE, and I'm curious about yourself because you are talking about all the story about kids. So, do you think you are one of them, one of the kids?
Do you consider yourself a kid?
I do actually.
Of course.
Even if I'm more of a nerdy type of kid, I'm still a kid.
A mature kid, do you want to be more mature or how does it work?
Well, I guess maturity is more like a yardstick, and it's different for every person. For someone, maturity might be whenever they start reading X or Y or Z, but for other person, it might be a different parameter. So I wouldn't say I'm particularly mature. In some other aspects, I'm just as childish as the other average child.
Do you still cherish being childish?
Yes,
Yeah?
to a degree.
Yeah, I think that's also very important. So she doesn't consider herself, she still considers herself a kid. We should all think about that, right? Yeah. Okay, anything else? Anybody else? In the back? Somewhere in the back, I saw, yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I'm a year 3 PhD student in industrial engineering and decision analytics. I want to know, do you want to go back to school for studying university? And also, what's your long-term goal in your life? Thank you.
Do you still need to go to university?
Well, that's an arguable point.
University people should consider themselves.
No, I think that university right now having a degree is still to a degree important. Funny how you use that word twice. But I think that in the future it will matter less. I also believe that university should be somewhere we go to if we want to specifically gain knowledge in that particular field, because we believe that will benefit us and something we want to do for our own lives. I personally would go to university if I believe that's something that would provide me unique skills to succeed. But if I'm only going there for a degree or that piece of paper, then
just for the sake of the paper.
Yeah.
So dream about what a university should do. Should we do these things? Should we bring in people, real people talk about it and so on?
Because I have heard a lot of people talk about different courses worldwide.
Yeah.
And according to some of the older ones can be a little bit dry. And
very dry. Think about calculus 101. Yeah, okay, go on.
I haven't learned calculus yet, but I've never been a huge fan of math.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. But are there things that you still need to learn in a way? I mean, when you learn it, let's say some of the things you don't know you might need it in the future. But the way of thinking, the way that the logic, development, you learn this not because of this, but you learn something in the back.
I think that universities, essentially a lot of people, is currently just providing you with knowledge. A lot of people consider university as kind of the stop between school and the world. Yeah. And I think that universities should do more to equip their students for life outside of university, which I think that these speaker sessions will have a huge part to play in. So they know what's actually going on outside as opposed to studying for their final, even though that might be important.
But should university be a place? Let's say if this is the middle ground, I can learn it online.
Yeah. I don't think it necessarily has to be a physical location, but I also believe that online and offline things should go hand in hand together. Because one-on-one interaction, like real life right now, also does have its values.
Should there be professors?
I think expert knowledge is valuable. Because they're able to uniquely provide. I think it really depends on each individual person. If you're already extremely knowledgeable or have experience in the past with this thing, or whatever you want to learn, then by all means, you can learn things online through a textbook or a website. But if you need expert knowledge and want to have nuance and ask them individually, then
How would interaction comes in? Because knowledge here, obviously, let's say if it's all calculus, if we talk about it and then use a I just draw on the screen and then explain the logics of the commands and things and equations and so on. That can be all on video, so I can watch it many times, and then so it's actually more efficient or effective than having a real person. What kind of interaction you think is actually necessary for us to grow?
I think interaction, like working in a team. I'm personally not great at it. That's why I think it's especially important. And I also think that interactions that will actually, when you're the thing about online videos or watching a certain thing is that if you have any questions, it's hard to pin down exact answers. And even if you could Google it, sometimes having someone explain it to you in different ways would help a lot. So I think that questions, teamwork, leadership, things like soft skills are things that should be offline.